Hello and welcome to this week's Alakazam Video Blog. I am joined this week by the one and only Jamie Daws.
Hello.
How are you, buddy? You
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. I mean, we go back a long, long way.
We do.
We used to hang out when I lived around and near London. I used to work around London. We would go out to coffee shops and literally buy a coffee and jam magic. And we came up with some really cool stuff together.
We did, yeah.
Some stuff that still hasn't seen the light of day.
No, shamefully, because some of it's really, really cool. He's got a great wallet idea, which hopefully one day we'll see. It's well over 10 years now thinking about it.
I know, but some things take time, don't they? But
they do, but it's very good.
Yeah, but I like jamming ideas with you because you look at things from a different kind of point of view to most magicians I know. And your background is very much performing arts, storytelling, and you've put that to a lot of your effects.
Yes.
And it's taken a very simple magic trick and turned it into a really impactful moment.
Yeah.
So for the people that maybe don't know you or have heard your name from some of your products, what's your kind of background and your style for them?
So my background is performing arts. So I went to university and I studied performance, and I've literally done it from a really, really young age. I used to do Saturday school, and then I carried on. I went to a performing arts status college. I went into university, etc., etc. But that was literally where I learned everything. So I had to learn about things like set, stage scenery, sound lighting, backstory, literally everything that you can think of that goes into making a performance, I've had to learn about.
Even walking on and off stage.
It sounds really stupid.
Well, I remember it myself. I mean, I had a similar background, with performing arts, and even the hours that you would spend even just entering and leaving a stage. It's
ridiculous.
I couldn't recommend performing arts enough if you've never done it.
Because that's the key point is it teaches you those little nuances that make something from, like an amateur to a pro. Like, so when you see somebody handling a deck of cards that's a professional, it's those tiny little things like as they're holding it, they may just wobble the deck or they may just run their thumb down the side. But it shows that they're proficient with a deck of cards, they're natural, they're comfortable. And that's how you know that they're professional, whereas somebody who wasn't proficient enough might be a bit wobbly and stuff like that. So that walking on and off a stage means that when you're changing one set or staging into another, you don't notice the set changing because you're focused on those actors and what's going on. And that's the whole point. It's those little tiny nuggets of information in terms of the way you're stood and the way you're
body
coming
language,
on and off. Body language, that make a big difference. Even, do you remember when they used to say, when you look out to the audience, you always look up and away? Up and away, so that you're not going to be distracted by anything, and that way you're collectively looking at the audience as a group. If you know what I mean.
There was a few sort of. I mean, we're going off a little bit here, but I mean it's good information. There's a couple of points where you with your eyes you can do a cross for the audience to make sure that everyone feels like you're getting eye contact with them.
Or you've got the box, so you go up there, down there, and then down here.
And I know Jeff McBride's got some great points and hours of information on even just walking onto the stage and that. But we won't go fully into that. But we have divulged a little bit there, but there's some good information. So from that, have you always done magic at college, or?
Oh, I've done magic since I was really little, since 6. It's literally the same story as everyone. Got a magic set, carried on doing it, never ever stopped. The bizarre sort of ghosty stuff came about probably about 6 years ago now with He's Not Here. That was the first one.
Which you're more known for now, is the dark stuff.
Which is strange, but it's just because I love it. But He's Not Here came out from, I was having a discussion with Liam Montier, and he was thinking about a photo trick that used a popular card trick to create an outcome. And that just got me starting to think about photos and using magic. And about that same time, Jim Critchlow and Alakazam put out Till Death Us Do Part, or Till Death Do Us Part. And I loved it. Like, there's just something incredible about it. The simplicity of it, the creepiness of it, having someone tear a picture, which is just so unnatural. And it really got my creative juices flowing. It was just excellent. I loved it. But I loved the simplicity of it and the method as well. So He's Not Here was basically a mixture of the Jim Critchlow's thinking and Liam Montier's discussion that we had. He's Not Here was totally different to what Liam was thinking of, and Liam subsequently has got his own creepy effect, which is, I think it's called the voodoo effect or something, which sort of came out from that discussion as well, which is excellent. But He's Not Here was literally it's just so simple, but so impactful. And that's what I love about all of these dark stories. The trick is good, and it's not secondary to the story, but it's on equal paths with the story. Everything works together. It's a harmonious collection of every little nuance to make it this massive effect.
As a prime example of taking a trick that could be over in 2 seconds and literally building up to that moment. I know we were saying, if you're watching a performance, if you're going to go and watch a theatre show, a West End show, if they came on with the show-stopping number straight away, it wouldn't mean anything to you.
No.
But the fact that you build up to that show-stopping number, that's when the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. And it's the same with your dark series and your style. We will come back to that in just a moment. But before all this dark stuff, you actually created a lot of card tricks and close-up magic. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at is this the first release with us that you did?
This was the first release, with Alakazam. This is God knows how many years old now, about 7? 6, 7?
Be, yeah. I don't know if the date's in there, but it's an absolute gem. So we're going to take a little look at the performance of Fantasm.
Have you ever had that thing where in the middle of the night you think there's somebody stood at the end of your bed just to find that really it's a dressing gown or a jacket on the back of your door? Well, sometimes our eyes can play tricks on us. And sometimes I can play tricks on your eyes. And to do that, I'm going to use 2 playing cards. What they are isn't important, but it is a queen and an ace. But rather what they can do. You see, if I take the cards like so, and I put one inside the other, you can keep track of where they are. You see the back and the back? But this is where your eyes start to play tricks. You see, straight away, half the card starts to face you, and half of it is left facing away. But watch the other half here. You see, straight away, it turns to face you. And now you don't know what your eyes are doing. You don't know if it's facing you or facing me or anything other than that. But what if I could make this moment last forever? If I snap my fingers, you can see that now they are fused impossibly together forever. And if you lose this, then you'll go blind. I'm joking. But that is Fantasm.
Okay, so that was Fantasm, and I absolutely love it.
So do I.
What's cool about it is you get all those visuals, but for no work. You've really taken a lot of sleight of hand out of this. That moment that it just kind of pops, it looks really... The first time I saw it, I thought, oh, it's really techie, he's doing some sort of move there or something. But it's really easy.
It really is easy, yeah.
What was your mindset behind this? Was it, I need an ending to Card Warp, or... was...
Well, so when I first started gigging, and you'll know this because you work as well, you end up at the end of your gig with like little pieces of torn up card and business cards and all sorts everywhere. Now, I don't mind leaving something like a business card on the table because they've still got your contact details and there's still a story behind that that object. And someone's more likely to take a folded playing card away with something written on the back than corner of a playing card, is because it's going to get lost. And I love Card Warp. Roy Walton's Card Warp is still, for me, one of the most incredible pieces of magic ever created. And not even Phantasm will come close to the original because it's just something so pure and amazing about it. But what I love about Phantasm is it just takes that in a completely new direction. And it's almost unrecognisable to Card Warp in some respects because other than the orientation of the cards, the structure of it is totally different. But it means that at the end of your gig, you're not leaving 2 pieces of torn up card on the table. You've got a completely different moment of magic, which is, it's cast forever in this object, which you can lay down on the table. I
think both have their merit, and both obviously amazing workable effects. It just depends on what ending you want to it. But I love the whole impossible object thing. You can leave something with them, they'll just question it and go, what? So yeah, I absolutely love this. It's dead easy to do. can't really say much more about it. They're available now from our website. So, on to the dark stuff.
The dark stuff.
This is the first in the series, of the Dark series.
Yes.
And yeah, when this got released, people were going crazy about it.
Yeah, it's mad, wasn't it?
Do you know what is really nice about this? You really confused us when you showed us it.
Yeah.
Because we thought we knew how it worked, but it kind of didn't work that way.
No. It was when Pete was sort of stood there and he went, yeah, but... No.
Well, yeah, you always do this thing, right? Jamie always comes in and he'll go, I've got this. We always go, what's new then? And come and show them, I've got this one thing, but it's nowhere near ready yet. And we go, no, go on and show us, because we could look at it and see. It's nowhere near. It's not even there yet. It's like, come on, show us it. So he showed us it, and it's like perfectly completed, completely there. We're being really modest about it, and we just sort of kind of scratched our face and went, oh, God, yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I absolutely love this thing. And before we go on about this, so that you know what we're talking about, let's take a look at performance of the deceased.
Dave.
Yeah.
To begin, I'm just going to hand you this envelope. Please place it somewhere safe and out the way.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever hear of the Tenterton murders?
No.
One of the most famous murders in the UK history. So at Tenterton Hall, not far from here, there were 10 people. Each of them were invited to a dinner party. They went into this hall, Tenterton Hall. The doors were locked and their fates were sealed from this moment on.
Right.
Now, I have some photos here of them. You get the idea. You can actually see some of the faces. Now, 8 of these people died on that fateful night.
Right.
They were actually killed by 2 of these people. You see, they were poisoned. There was poison placed in their drinks. And this poison completely paralysed them. They couldn't do anything. They could see, but they couldn't speak, they couldn't run, they couldn't call out for help.
Ugh.
Exactly. And what happened was, they were carved up and cooked on a fire and eaten by 2 suspects. And each person was eaten before the others. So they had to watch, basically, as all of their friends were eaten.
Nice.
I want to try an experiment with you. I want you just to take 5 of these pictures, okay?
Yeah.
Take them like so. Place them behind your back.
Uh-huh.
And all I want you to do is to take one from the top to the bottom and keep going.
Yeah.
And I'll do the same. And whenever you want, all I want you to do is stop.
Okay.
And I'll stop when you do. Have you stopped?
Yep, stopped.
Okay. Now, all I want you to do is to take the top card off.
Yeah.
And to hold on to it, but do not let that go.
Okay.
Okay? And bring the rest of the cards forward, leaving that one behind your back.
Yeah.
Now, I've turned mine face down for you already. Okay?
Yeah.
So place them behind your back and just place your card on top.
Yeah.
Straight away. And cut the cards so that yours is lost somewhere in the middle. So you should have one that's now turned the opposite way.
Yeah.
Let me do the same for you. Okay. Now, if you've done this right, just bring your hand forward and spread through them. You should have one that's faced the opposite way.
Yeah.
Good. Place them down for me. Now, you knew nothing about this.
No.
Nothing about what happened on that evening.
No.
Now, I gave you an envelope. In that envelope are the 2 killers.
Right.
From that evening.
Just
take out the envelope for me. Just take out what's inside. You should see there are 2 photos.
Yeah. Ugh.
A man and a woman.
Yeah.
They don't look particularly inviting.
No.
And you knew nothing about this.
No.
How strange it is that you've managed to select
Perfect match.
the 2 killers. But if this story really was true, then these 2 really would be killers.
Nice. Yes.
And
indeed.
everyone else at that meal would be dead. Check.
Every single one. Creepy. So how did this come about then?
So, I don't know. So I've been into sort of spooky effects of the Jim Critchlow and obviously that whole development. And the first one was He's Not Here that I came up with. Then I came up with Scream.
Yeah.
And that was actually constructed through university. So that was part of my course, and that was the way of thinking about props. And then came the deceased, because I was really interested in a trick called What a Turn Up. And I remember it since I was really, really young, as I'm sure you will.
Is it a Kmart?
Kmart Magic. Yeah. And it's a brilliant, brilliant trick. And it's a packet trick with just 10 cards, and there's this whole process. But what I didn't like about the original, not what I didn't like, but what didn't work for me rather, was that you have this moment where someone gives they make a selection and they hand it away. And for me, logically thinking, you wouldn't have someone do that. They're going to be protective over their card. That's their card. When you're at a gig and you get someone to pick a card, they're like this, you know? They're really protective of it.
And that's the thing with this, isn't it? You hand them everything and leave them with just their card.
So they never ever let go of it.
Never let go, yeah. And mixed with the story as well, it's a lovely moment. The fact that you've put photographs to this rather than playing cards just turns this on its head, really. I mean, the great thing about this is you can adapt it to use any card-like object.
Yeah, so you can do business cards if you really want to do business cards. Yeah. You can do playing cards if you do want to do playing cards. You can do different style of photos if you want to do different photos. Yeah. It's even really good if you're going to do things for companies. So over Christmas, I did a couple of companies. It's great to do things with logos. It can be literally adapted to anything you want. Nice. Because the method is just so versatile.
Yeah, I guess the logo thing's a nice idea. If you mix up a ton of different logos and you're working for the company, you get it in their hand and they turn over and you turn over just their logo, leaving the others. So
exactly.
Really nice, really, really nice.
The bizarre stuff though, there's just so much scope, and I mean we were talking earlier about the bizarre stuff. And how, you know, it can be put into actual performance. Yeah. And it can be used at gigs if they wanted to. And that was part of what I wanted to bring out, that, you know, magicians are scared to try new things. Yeah. We are programmed to do what we're comfortable with. Yeah. Like the first time I remember doing, cross? There's a scary moment, you must admit, the first time you perform something like that, because it's invasive. Yeah. You're invading someone's personal space.
Is this double cross?
Double cross, double cross, sorry. You are invading somebody's personal space, you don't know if it's going to work. Yeah. And to an extent, this is the same, but you're invading somebody's personal space in a different way. Yeah. You're invading their personal space emotionally. Yeah. And you're affecting somebody's emotions at the end of the day. And people get scared by this and they think, but it's a horror trick, no one's going to like it.
Non-magicians love this style of effect.
They do.
They really do. Obviously, you're not going to go around with every one of the dark series or every scary effect and do them one after another. Maybe at Halloween, but you wouldn't do that in a normal work environment. But what this does is people, the difference between people connecting to your story and not will make this either a good or bad trick.
Yeah,
people love a story, something that they can really get involved in. If you're a good storyteller like yourself, people will go along with you for the ride. And as I say, the difference at the end, if they're with you, to them, you just saying, I've got some pictures here. You know, if you build that moment, they love it. They absolutely love it.
But it's also like the props that you're using as well. What I kind of like doing is I do like taking an old trick and trying to put it to new props and making it something different. Like we were talking Fantasm earlier. You can put that to 2 photos. And I was saying that I quite like dolls at the moment. I've got a thing about freaky dolls and Annabelle and that's sort of the thing that I've got at the moment, because people are really scared of dolls. Yeah. And I've got a couple of tricks that I'm working on that are based around this idea. And we're saying with Fantasm, if you have 2 photos, one of a doll like Annabelle from the back and one from the front, you put them together and you'll do Fantasm but with a photo, but line her eyes so that when that card turns around, they're staring straight at her. And then you're left with this thing of 2 photos that you can leave with them. And it's almost like in their head that her head's just turning around.
And you completely change that effect from being a skillful card trick now into something a
visual
bit more meaningful.
Scary.
Visual, You know, do you know what I was thinking earlier? Your printers must think you're the craziest person.
Yeah.
Can I get 100 of these Daws printed up,
Yep,
please? Yeah.
yep. I haven't done the Daws yet, but that's going to be good. Yeah, because I didn't realise that it wasn't me that it was affecting, it was them, because all their customers were going in and there were just hundreds of dead people all over the floor.
Pictures of dead
pictures of dead people, not that sort of printers. Yeah, I think they were getting lots of funny looks from people.
Well, there you go, guys. If you've ever been looking for something that's a little bit different, something you can build a moment out of, then take a look at The Deceased. So there we have it. The two effects, which are, I think you'll agree, completely contrasted, will fit into anyone's set. I love your style, Jamie. You know that, and I've been trying to get you to lecture for ages. So I'm really glad that now you are.
Yay! Yeah, just about. Dave's been. I've been talking to him for a couple of years, and I don't know why I've never done it. I don't often get to conventions, and I don't often lecture or really get into talking to magicians. I'm not sure why. I don't know why.
You're what I would class as an underground magician. You don't really mix in the crowds,
no.
But I think you belong in them because you've got some great advice, some great routines, and your look on magic is really unique. And anytime I show you something or anyone shows you something, you can take it your direction, which is really nice.
Don't know if that's a good direction, but it's a direction.
No, it is. It is good.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not that I'm scared of magicians or anything like that. It's just when I go into a room, instead of seeing, like, all I can see is how amazing everyone is.
Right.
And that's the first thing that I see when I walk into a room. And I will see everyone and just how incredible they are. And I just...
Put yourself down straight away.
It's not that you put yourself down. It's just that when magicians come out, they have a tendency to be... they've got a bit of an ego because they've got a DVD, because there's the product on the table. It's supposed to all be about them. Whereas I'm sort of the opposite. Like, I love that the trick's out, but I get more joy from watching somebody perform my trick better than I do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I
so
guess,
when I go into a room, I don't like people necessarily coming up to me and being, "Oh, you're this, you got this," and like that. I would just like to be on an equal playing field and learn from them. As much as they would from me, and I want it to be like a mutual thing.
But you can still do that and lecture.
Yes, yeah, you can. But that's what I love about lecturing. That's what I've learned. Like, especially because I came to the Alakazam Magic Club, which is a great club, lovely people in there as well. And that was the first time that, you know, the feedback that you get and the chat that you have after, and people come up and they say, "Oh yeah, but have you thought of this?" And you're like, "No, I haven't." That's really cool. And then I still talk to some of the people from Alakazam Magic Club via email and stuff like that, and I just get so much different input, and I think that's really nice. And
it was a great lecture, mate. And if you're a member of Magic Club and you want a unique magic lecture, then contact me. But
fair point. Fair point.
Contact Jamie, jamiedaws.co.uk.
Yes.
Yep. And get them along to your Magic Club, because honestly, there's some little gems which I wish we could talk to you about, but it would only be hyping it up because you wouldn't be able to get them only at the lecture.
Hopefully one day.
The post-it pad. Brilliant. Anything left you want to tell the guys?
Well, we were thinking as well. We've both got an at the table lecture coming up as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm really looking. He's been showing me some of the stuff he's got today. It's so good.
Likewise.
It is. It's so good. But we were just going to say what's really exciting about that is we're filming it here.
Yeah.
At the Alakazam studios.
Yeah.
Which is just awesome because there's something really nostalgic for me coming here now.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I mean, the first time I ever met Pete I was about 15. I came up here with this idea for a colour changing deck, and I had it printed up, and it cost me an absolute fortune.
Yeah.
And I showed it to him, and he was just like, "That's really promising. That's really promising, but maybe not this time around." And it helped a lot because it progressed onto other tricks and other routines. But ever since then, I've always come back here. So it's really nice that, you know, an at the table lecture is an absolute privilege. I mean, lecturing anywhere in the world is incredible to be able to do, because it's amazing that people are going to sit down and listen to what I have to say. Why do I matter amongst everyone else in the world, if that makes sense?
Yeah, but it's good because you know, you have your own view on things, and the fact that you don't think you're worthy of it is actually really quite humbling, because if you ever see Jamie at a convention, go and chat to him, sit down and jam magic, because
I'll run away. I'm joking.
The way he looks at things is completely unique, and I urge you to grab this lecture. There's some really nice bits in it. I'm really looking forward to it, and I know
should be fun.
You're going to cover not just physical tricks. You know, you've got some great advice as well, which I know is going to be in there. So.
We're going back to sort of the roots as well, because Dave, we've been talking for months and months and months about lecturing, and he sort of helped. So the idea between the lectures was to create sort of like a timeline from the early stuff, because the first one I came up with was Scared, which was when I was 16.
Yeah.
And I'm 27 now, so it was quite sad, isn't it?
I'm losing my hair.
27, nearly 30.
Yeah.
There you go.
Close to 30. Yeah.
Not that we're saying anyone above 30 is old or anything like that. It was really nice to go back to sort of my roots and to see how it's come along. So a lot of the stuff that I'm teaching are things like ping. All of the names of my tricks are too similar, and that is basically, it's just elastic band through bottle. So you have a bottle, the elastic band penetrates it. It's really, really visual. But again, it's one of the earliest things I ever came up with. So it's kind of nice to go through everything, to see the progression, to see what I'm working on now, and hopefully get some feedback along the way as well from what other people say about it. I've got coin tricks. Well, I don't do a great amount of coin tricks, because I know it's an excuse, I do have dwarf hands, but that's tiny. But yeah, it should be really, really exciting. I'm really, really looking forward to it, and it should be good fun.
That would be great, mate. And guys, you know, support Jamie and the lecture and all that sort of stuff, and you're going to learn some great stuff. So you know,
some of the names are great as well.
Yeah. The lineup looks amazing.
Mad. It's really, really good.
I'm really looking forward to it. As well. Well, that brings us towards the end of this week's Alakazam vlog. You saw two incredible effects, Deceased and Phantasm, both by Jamie Daws, and both available right now on the website. Leaves me to say thank you very much to Jamie.
Thank you for having me.
Joining us. We're going to go and jam some ideas.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time on the Alakazam Video Blog.
Goodbye.